The secret to great Loom recordings for your course start before you hit record. That's where the real magic is, in the Loom settings. Get it wrong, okay, and your course videos will look and sound amateur, but if you nail it, you'll instantly look like a pro. So let's walk through exactly how to set up Loom the right way. My first pro tip for you is to use the Loom Desktop App. Yes, Loom has two ways to work with it. You can use the Chrome extension or you can use the desktop app. And for many, that's a lot of many reasons you want to use the desktop app. Now, that being said, for little videos that I'm doing for my team or to give feedback to a client, things like that, I'll often use the Chrome extension just because it's easy and available, and you can see here, pretty simple to use. However, the settings that you want, as you can see, there are many more settings available on the desktop app. So you just go to loom.com/download, download the desktop app, and get it there. Now, once you have the Loom desktop app, you can simply open it on your computer and it will show up just as if it's a Chrome extension, right? You've got your info and settings over here. You've got some of the controls for when you're actually recording here. You've got your video here, which you can, minimize or turn off should you want to, which I will, because otherwise I'm going to be two places on this screen. So over here, this is where your settings live, but they're kind of hidden. Okay. Here you'll see this is settings for actually starting a recording, like a live video of you doing a screen share of any sort, or even a talking head, because you can select this and choose camera only. But the actual settings are over here in More. When you click More, you'll see a bunch of different options in the menu. The first one you're going to click is Settings. Now, inside of the settings area, you'll see there's 3 different tabs. You have Enhance. This allows you to touch up your appearance. When you're touching up your appearance, you can turn it off. You can turn it on. Now, I only have it turned on a little bit, but if I go way over here, you can see I just got snatched. Yeah. It's totally up to you what you want. I tend to like to look like myself, but maybe just 5% better. So that's where I leave it. But of course, you can do whatever you would like to do. All right, so then we have lighting. So this is an auto feature. You can correct your lighting. This is great because as a course creator, you might not want to go get a bunch of different lights, but this allows you to, again, it auto adjusts to improve your lighting for the purposes of video. If I turn mine off, I immediately get darker. I don't have light in front of me. I don't have a ring light on. This is just me and my natural lighting. But if I turn on auto lighting, I immediately brighten everything up a little bit, which for first time course creators, we're not looking to, this isn't trying to be a masterclass. Masterclass is in the platform masterclass. We're just trying to get the best content out to our students in the fastest time possible. So great little hack. Noise filter. You can turn this on or off. I keep it on. I tend to keep noise filters on as much as I can because I've got little Kona over here who likes to, there she is. She likes to bark and she likes to check out, when the trash guy comes by, and she likes to make noise. And I'm not talking shit on you. It's true. It's true. So because of that, I keep the noise filter on. Okay. And then we've got recording controls. I'm upset that this feature is so hidden because it causes grief for a lot of people, which is that when you're recording, you have the recording controls panel over here. You see that over here? That's the recording controls panel. And when you actually start recording, that panel is going to show up. And sometimes if we're using a full screen situation, that panel gets in the way of something that we want to show. When you go to this setting, so again, you go into settings, it's on this enhance page, you can choose whether you want to show recording controls, hide while recording, which means as you're recording, you won't be able to see it. So let's say you're recording and, someone rings the doorbell and you need to pause the video. If those recording controls are hidden, you wouldn't be able to pause it because you wouldn't be able to see it. Okay. You might have a shortcut or something, but it wouldn't be easy to pause it. So my preference and what I recommend for you is to put on this hide only in final video. So when you're actually recording the video, you'll be able to see those recording controls, pause, use any of the controls available. But when the actual final is produced, it doesn't show up. Pretty cool. See, that's her making noise. I don't know if you heard that because the noise filter is on. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one is video and audio. So video quality, you've got different options here. 4K is very, very high end. You can choose what you want to do. Highlighting mouse clicks. This is especially helpful if you're doing like a screen share video. I default to it turned off, but again, you can if you're doing a screen share video and want to show what you're clicking. That's a good feature. Recording countdown. I always keep that on. Flip camera. This depends on what camera you're using. Some cameras are oriented differently. So, for example, this is me flipping the camera. You get to choose how you want it to look. The way that I'm looking at it right now is if I'm looking in a mirror. So that's the way I choose to do it. But depending on your setup or what you have going on, you may want, and your camera, you may want to flip it so that it looks that way for you. Persistent bubble location. This means you are going to be in one spot and it is immovable. Maybe you want that because you're doing slides and this one area of the slide is always where your bubble goes. So you're not going to be covering anything. I never turn that off. I just like to be able to move it around should I want to. Use system audio. This is recording audio from other apps on your device. So like, let's say you're doing a meditation and you're using Spotify to play a bass track for the meditation. That might be something you want to turn on. It's more of an advanced feature. I wouldn't recommend it unless like you have to for some reason, but most of my clients never actually need that. Record audio in mono. That means it's in a single audio channel. That's what I tend to do because it makes editing easier because there's one audio to edit. And then we have enable SCK screen capture. So this is a very specific Loom thing. So here you can see SCK in Loom stands for Screen Capture Kit. This is a setting that allows Loom to hide recording controls in the final video. So again, back up here back to enhance recording controls. We want to hide it in the final video. That's some of the tech that enables it to do that. However, it does create, it needs more disk space. So I have had, not on this computer because Brad, my husband, he's so awesome. He upgraded my whole computer here. So I have like all the memory and that's great. But on my laptop, I will sometimes get that error. And so if you're getting that error, know that there's options. You can either just upgrade your memory, try it on a different computer, or you can turn off this, or you turn this to hide while recording or show, and that will open up more memory for you. And then third, we have preferences. These system preferences are pretty basic, right? Like, do you want to automatically install updates? Do you want the app to launch and to start your computer? And then you have shortcuts. These are the standard shortcuts in there, but if you want to go in and add your own shortcuts that are easier for you to remember for various things, you can definitely do that. I haven't even done that. That is like some Loom Ninja work. All right, so those are the 3 tabs inside of the settings of Loom Desktop. If I come back to the main little panel here, there's a few other things I wanted to show you just as general information when using Loom. And again, in the next videos, I'm going to walk through how to record specific type of course videos. But just generally, this first setting shows you your screen options. So it's what do you actually want to record? Do you want to record your entire screen, a specific window? So here you can see the 2 windows that I have open. Do you want to record a custom size? This is going to be really helpful in a few videos, okay? When we talk about recording screen shares, sometimes this is very helpful. So those are different options. You can also record camera only, which here you can see it would just record my camera. Even though I have other things happening on my desktop behind it, it wouldn't record that. It would just record me full screen. Really helpful for talking head videos. This to the right is a screenshot. So you can use a screenshot feature should you choose to. And at the bottom, we have a few other options. We have effects. So these are backgrounds that you might want to use. I could blur my background. I can be in some green situation. I tend to not do it because I don't know, it's just not my thing, but you're welcome to do that should you choose to. Frames give you a little something around the edge. Again, it's a little kitschy for me, not really my thing, but kind of fun, And then the third effect we have is a canvas, which this can be really good for if I'm trying to relay something to the team very quickly and I need some kind of written element to it. So this is usually the one I use. I put myself in the little corner and I will say, project update. I'll verbalize it to them, but I'll also type it as we go because now they're both hearing it and seeing it, which meets more different types of learners. So they're more likely to remember it. And in the more section, we've already talked about settings, but there are some others that might be worth looking at and adjusting before you start filming your course. The first one is updates. So you want to make sure that you're up to date, which if you just downloaded it, chances are you are. Quick start is like simply the walkthrough screens for Loom. So it gives you the basic information on how to get recording. About, help, quit, pretty standard. Notifications is actually about who's watched videos of yours recently. So if we go into my Loom account, which I can get to by going to this little home button, it'll take me to loom.com where you can see my library. You'll see like I've recorded 3 videos in the last hour for Course Complete. Here's some other recent videos for clients and reviewing various things. Like this was a task handoff for someone on a team that I'm partnered with, as CXO. But then Johnny Stevens, that's a client of ours in the agency, and I was doing a slide deck review for the team who's developing his program, giving them feedback. And I can see using that little notifications button. Again, if I go back here in the notifications, I can see who's watched my video, if it's been watched or not, so on and so forth. So with that said, after this video, you want to go download the Loom Desktop app. You want to set up those basic standard settings. It should take you literally 5 to 8 minutes. And that way you are ready to start learning how to record the various lessons inside of your course. So go get that done. And I'll see you in the next video where I'll talk through how to record a talking head in like the most optimized settings for recording a talking head video inside of Loom. I'll see you there.